In 2013, we talked about the adult content in Mario games, the adventures of Pete and Pete, aging wrestlers, Alan Moore, Alberta's impressive list of world records, Alisana, alien sex, the angry video game nerd, Animorphs, AOL keywords, Archaeopteryx, Arkansas's ban on tattoos, Ashton Kutcher, Atlantic Rim, Avril Lavigne, the Axe Body Spray Battlefield 4 partnership, Beetlejuice, being colorblind, the benefits of goat milk, biblical cinema, Bieber beef, Bill Hicks, Black Friday, Bodie Day, Boxing Day, Busta Rhymes, Caribou, Catatonia, Chuck Klosterman, Christmas, The Conjuring, The Cortland Riots, The Curse of Chucky, Dance Gavin Dance, The Dark Side of the Rainbow, a Dead Space movie, the definition of the word people, the difference between HTTP and HTTPS, the difference between Satanists and devil worshippers, Dinotopia, Disney Princess Politics, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, Doctor Who, Dumb Criminals, Edgar Wright, Edna Krabappel, Electronic Cigarettes, Family Guy, Fan Subs, The Fantastic Four, Fantasy Football, Feeney's Filmography, Feral Children, A Fight Between Han Solo and Indiana Jones, Foreign Languages, the 4th season of Community, A Friends Reunion, Futurama, Ghostwriters, Goodwill's Shady Business Practices, Gremlins, Guy Fawkes, Halloween, Hanging Munchkins, Hanukkah, HBO Programming, A Hellraiser Remake, He-Man, Hindi Swear Words, How to Make the Day Shorter, Ice Cream, Industrial Goth Metal, The iPod Classic, The IRS, James Cameron, Jay-Z's Magna Carta Holy Grail, Jim Carrey's Spiritual Side, Johnny Depp's Range, The Judicial System, Jurassic World, Kevin Smith's new horror movie, Kick-Ass 2, Kim Possible, Kwanzaa, LeBron James, The League, the Lego Batman movie, Lindsay Lohan's budding male equivalent, Little Big Planet, The Living Dead Man, How the Lone Gunman May Have Predicted September 11th, The Make-A-Wish Foundation, Maleficent, Mariah Carey, Mario's Tanuki Suit, Mass Effect, Maury Povich and Jerry Springer, Michael Myers, Miley Cyrus, the misuse of words such as Diddy and peruse, M. Night Shyamalan, monster movies, Mowgli, Mutant League Football, Naked Haunted Houses, Neil Gaiman, Netscape Navigator, Nicolas Cage, Nickelodeon GAC, Northwest, Pacific Rim 2, Paul Walker, the PlayStation 4, Pokemon The Origin, the Porn Awards, Prison, The Proper Way to Wish Somebody a Happy Holiday, Public Exorcisms, Racism, Reality Television, Real Life Mermaids, Reboot vs. Optimus Prime, Resident Evil 6, The Return of Jack Bauer, The Rugrats, Samus Aran vs. Master Chief, Santa Claus, Saved by the Bell, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, The Sims, Sin City, Slimer, The Sorry State of Gaming, South Park, Starbucks Sizes, Steampunk Morgan Freeman, Taco Bell Kids Meals, Thanksgiving, Tim Sale, The Top 20 Songs of 1995, The Troll Hunter, The True Story Behind Alanis Morissette's You Oughta Know, The Two Different Tony Starks, Underwater Rivers, Unlikely Animal Bonds, The Walking Dead, Water Parks, Wayne of Gotham, Whale Sharks, When the Simpsons Was Still Good, Why Lil Wayne Hates America, The Winter Solstice, The World's First Commercially Available Cyborg, The Xbox One, Yule, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, and Zen Cones.
That's it? Pfft. I'm not impressed. We got to pick up the slack.
Let us know what you want to hear us talk about in 2014. Fairpoint Podcast at yahoo.com.
All right, roll for initiative.
I got a 3.
I got a 9.
All right,
so I win. You're listening to Fairpoint Podcast. I'm Craig Lewis.
I'm Nathan Capisser.
And it is cold AF outside.
It's what?
Cold AF. It kind of sounds like a
AF?
Yeah, it stands for cold as
in
fuck.
The letters? Oh.
But if you just say...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't heard this one.
If you just say cold AF, it kind of sounds like, NyQuil PM.
AF. Is that like that's what they're saying on the internet?
Yeah,
now?
that's
like
that's
WTF
Facebook jargon.
So is that wait? Is that what Dragon Ball AF is? Dragon Ball is fuck. I don't know if you've.
We can only hope.
You're not a Dragon Ball Z fan.
No, not really.
Dragon Ball AF was like a hoax, like a fan hoax. I think it was Advanced Fighting or something. But It was like
That's possibly what it could stand for.
supposedly a new series with like Super Saiyan 4 and all this shit.
Was it? Well, not a game.
Or Super Saiyan 5.
Once you said advanced fighting, I was assuming it was a fighting game.
No, it was supposed to be an anime, but it was fake. It was a hoax.
It was a hoax. It was a hoax AF.
I like that. Dragon Ball as fuck. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, well, Dragon Ball is fuck, cold as fuck.
Well, this is episode 34 AF.
In true internet fashion, we have to overuse it and overuse it very quickly just so it gets stale AF really soon.
Good plan. That plan's good AF.
See, it's already catching. But, Nathan, please tell me you saw it. Community came back.
Oh, yeah, I did. I watched
I want to know your thoughts.
the episodes the other day, the double episodes.
Yeah.
It was cool. Well, I guess I'd have to say, like, Dan Harmon did a good job putting it back together. It wasn't bad, but at the same time, I mean,
I do like
it
how
suffers from already being beaten to death.
Right. But I do like the joke that they were making last year didn't count. You know, the last year of school that they had didn't count. And I thought that was rather funny because basically they're saying, you know, the season without Harmon didn't count.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Spoiler alert, I was pretty delighted to see that there was a cameo from Chevy Chase that surprised me. And
yes,
I was like,
me too.
Wow, awesome.
Me too.
I'm sure he filmed that before he left the show because...
one of the things that's excited me the most about it, though, is that they now have Jonathan Banks on the show, and it seems like he's going to be like a staple.
Who's he?
He was
the other teacher?
the other teacher, the shop teacher.
Oh, I like that
whatever.
dude.
He is...
No, he was the criminal teacher that Jeff was palling around with?
I'm sorry, yeah.
The criminal law
teacher,
or whatever, yeah.
Did I say shop?
Criminology or something? Yeah, you said shop
He
teacher.
looks like a shop teacher, whatever.
That dude was cool. I liked him.
But yeah, he's... those of you that like Breaking Bad or watched Breaking Bad, he was Mike, Gus's cleanup guy, basically.
Oh, okay. I've never watched Breaking Bad.
And he was wonderful in that. He's a great character actor. And I'm just excited to see what he brings to the table here.
I'm sort of sad that Donald Glover's going to be gone. And he's only going to be in 5 episodes. I don't know how Abed's going to
I don't know if you noticed, but they made another joke about that between Zach Braff and Scrubs. Yeah.
I caught it in the trailer, but I didn't get it. And then when I saw it in the episode, I was like, oh, I get it. One thing that I am happy to see is Chang being utilized, Ken Jeong being utilized, rather, and Chang being back to normal Chang.
Yeah.
Which is to say abnormal.
They're like, oh, I'm not Kevin anymore. I'm back to being Chang. He even made that mention.
Yeah, that was just a horrible waste of that actor.
It really was, especially...
season.
Well, the thing is, it could have been good if they went somewhere with it.
And they didn't.
They didn't. They just let it go. And he's just like, oh, you know what? Guess what? I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, hopefully now that he's back, things are going to Chang around there.
Okay, I'm sure you've heard that recently we
had... This just in. Breaking news. I'm sorry. We interrupt this broadcast. We interrupt this news story.
You son of a bitch.
For breaking
You're gonna get
news.
Me fired.
We've broke 200 likes on our Facebook page.
Yay! Celebrate good times. Come on. We will.
Go there. I was going to say be our 201st like, but that's already happened. We're way past that now. But help us.
On the back
yeah.
burner.
Let's see. We had exactly 200 likes on January 1st. So, let's see how much we have at the end of 2014. See how much we can get.
206. No, we've already passed that, but...
Yeah. Check it out. Facebook.com/Fairpoint Podcast. We now return you to your regularly scheduled news. Craig.
God damn it. I lost where I was. Recently, I'm sure you've heard that we had a winner in the biggest Mega Millions there has been to date, I believe. It was like $648 million.
Wow.
2 winners, to be exact.
Okay.
Now, the first person is from Georgia. She immediately, got up and collected it. The second winner stayed absent for about 2 weeks or so.
Wow.
And yeah, just nobody claimed it, but they knew it got hit. They knew somebody picked those numbers. He came forward, and would you like to know what the reason for his absence was in coming forward?
Let me make a guess. He was trapped in a box undergoing experiments which involved firing like lasers in and out of it to see if they didn't open the box, if he would be neither alive nor dead.
No.
He was visiting his family relatives, the Tanners, in Gotham City.
No.
He was at Fairpoint Podcast Water Explosion.
Close,
where they've got
but
water
no.
slides and stuff.
Do you give up?
I never give up.
Do you give up on this particular thing? Guessing?
Do you think there's a chance that I'll guess it?
I mean, at first I thought maybe, but
There's a lot of places it could have been.
He just simply...
Milwaukee.
No, he's from California.
You know where he was, where he's been this whole time.
He never went to Milwaukee. No, it wasn't on his route. He was a truck delivery.
Idaho.
He was a delivery truckman.
Montreal.
No, he wasn't someplace, Nathan.
Iceland.
He just forgot that he bought a ticket.
Oh, okay.
And thank God he didn't just throw it out because, according to him, Mr. Steve Tran of California, he had just left it on his dresser with a bunch of losing tickets, and he forgot to bought a ticket for it. And about 2 weeks later, in the middle of the night, he just woke up and he was like, "Holy crap! I didn't check one of my Mega Millions tickets." And he checked it; it was a winner. At like 3 a.m, he calls his boss up and is like, "I'm not going to come to work. I'm sorry. I just hit the lotto. And I'm not coming to work ever." And I'm like, you know what? Just
wake up! It's David Bowie. You forgot to check your lottery tickets. The funky tickets.
The baby is mine. Once we go Bowie, it's just...
Ground control to Major Steve.
David Bowie, is that you?
Did you check your tickets, man?
No, but I never win that.
It's not David Bowie. It's just a freaky, freaky dream.
Yeah, so congrats. That reenactment brought to you poorly by Fairpoint Podcast.
I don't know if you've heard, Craig, but in Oklahoma City...
A city of peace.
In the Oklahoma State House, the Satanic Temple is planning to erect a 7-foot-tall monument.
Is it the only satanic temple? Because you're like...
Well, it's a religious group.
So there's only one in Oklahoma State?
No, they're the Satanic Temple, meaning the group itself. They're actually based in New York.
Oh, okay. Okay. They have a chapter in Oklahoma.
Yeah, you know, Anton LaVey, like that shit.
Yeah.
They're going to build a big statue of Baphomet. You know, the goat-headed, breasted, pentacle on his forehead, wings.
Okay. Yeah, I see him on metal albums.
Yeah. They're going to build a statue of Baphomet in the Oklahoma State House. At least they want to. A lot of people are fighting them on that.
They're just going to have it like in the State House?
Well, their perspective is you allowed Christians to put the Ten Commandments in the State House.
The Ten Commandments in their State House? Because
yes.
I could have sworn that religion should not be mixed with government.
Or maybe it's not their State House, but it's on the State House grounds at least.
I believe if you were to go to the New York State House, would you think they would have the Ten Commandments there? Or is maybe Oklahoma just a more
liberal state in New York? Probably less likely. But you have never heard it in the news before, like, you know, debates about the Ten Commandments being in government buildings.
No, I don't hear much from Oklahoma.
I remember that being a big deal back in like 05, 06.
The last thing I heard about from Oklahoma was like the bombing, but that was like the 90s.
Well, the Satanic Temple is trying to raise $20,000 by January 17th.
Is that the cost to build the statue, or is that the cost to allow it to be in there?
That's to build the monument, which will have Baphomet sitting cross-legged with 2 smiling children sitting next to him.
Oh, now you've gone too far.
Well, they say our monument celebrates an unwavering respect for the constitutional values of religious freedom and free expression. Satanism is a fundamental component at the genesis of American liberty. Medieval witch hunts taught us to adopt presumption of innocence, secular law, and a more substantive burden of proof. Acknowledging wrongful persecution has helped shape the legal system that preserves the sovereignty of our skeptics, heretics, and the misunderstood. It has shaped a proud culture of tolerance and free inquiry. This is to be a historical marker commemorating the scapegoats, the marginalized, the demonized minority, and the unjustly outcast.
I feel like I have to agree with them for one reason and one reason only, because originally I was like, yeah, well, if you don't want God stuff up in there, you probably shouldn't be able to have Satanist stuff up in there. But when you told me that they have the Ten Commandments in there, I feel like they're almost bound by morality to allow it to be erect. Like, hey, if you have either allow them to do that, which will end up allowing, you know, somebody to put a a Jewish monument up in there.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, exactly. The only way you can say you are not allowed to do that is if they go and take down the 10 Commandments. Honestly, either nothing or anything. As long as, within good taste, I guess. Like, I don't expect you to be allowed to put up, porn. Basically, like Satan porn, but
And over here is our monument to gay Satan bestial porn.
As you can see, the man is entering his phallus into goat.
And that's enough right there.
Next stop on the trip, you will see the courthouse.
You lost me at man.
Don't you love it when movies break records?
Not necessarily. I guess that all depends.
All depends, huh? Have you heard of the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, the new Scorsese flick?
With Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Yes.
Yes, I have heard of it.
Okay. I have not seen it myself.
I've heard people were up in arms a little bit about it because supposedly it glorifies Wall Street.
Oh, really?
Which to me, I'm like, Martin Scorsese makes gangster films. Like,
right?
really?
Like
come
you're
on.
up in arms about that, but Godfather was perfectly fine. Yeah, obviously, this is going to be a seedy lot. Greedy people, not exactly, top of the morality chain.
Yeah.
Founders of basic good principles. And the record that they broke...
The same people that watch Mad Men? Like,
Right.
The fuck?
The record that they broke actually goes along those borders. They actually have just recently broken the record for the most F-bombs dropped in a movie.
Oh, so Leo's got 2 big ones under his belt.
One's an Emmy, yes.
I'm saying, one's an Emmy and the other...
One's an Oscar and the other's an F-bomb, whatever.
No. I mean, Django has the record for most uses of the N-word.
Oh, so he's got 2 movies with the most swear
Leonardo
words.
DiCaprio's like, what the fuck? I play a fucking slave driver, and everyone's like, applaud, you played a good villain. Not really. A lot of people were like, fuck that movie, but I thought it was an awesome movie.
I haven't seen that one either yet. I heard lots of good things. I am excited. See, this is my
Wall
thing
Street,
with that.
dude, and everyone's like, you're glorifying it.
Yeah. This is my thing with Django is as soon as I have like 3 hours to myself.
Dude, I actually watched that movie
in pieces?
pretty much entirety twice in 1 week. I watched it in its entirety, and then later that week I stopped by my mom's house, and her and my stepfather were watching it. And I just sat down to like watch the scene with them, and ended up staying and watching the entire rest of the movie. It's really good.
So apparently the record is 506 times now, which equates to, because it's a 180-minute film, 3 hours about... It equates to 2.8 times every minute.
That's fuck AF.
That is fucking AF, yes. That is fucking exploitive, deletive AF.
I bet we could beat it in this episode. Let's start now. Fuck. Come on, Craig.
See, now you're just trying. It doesn't flow naturally. You make it sound awful.
Craig, just start
See,
saying
the point of the Wolf of Wall Street is that it just goes naturally in the conversation.
Dude, if we were saying it at the same time by now, we would have fucking already been halfway. Fuck.
I don't feel clean right now. No, I'm kidding. Fuck.
Somebody tally that up.
This reminds me of like the South Park episode where they're doing shit. How many times they can say shit?
They were a little more clever with it.
Obviously, we're not the genius that is Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
True, we are not. Apparently, some other geniuses in China have created glow-in-the-dark pigs.
Are these live pigs?
Yes. There's a picture.
Well, what kind
or should I say a picture?
Radiation do you like? Is that seems like cruelty to animals?
Yeah, I would think so, but I don't know. I guess they're not radioactive. But they glow bright green in the dark.
Do they have pig farms in Japan? Because they don't really have.
This was China, Craig.
Okay, do they have pig farms in China?
Probably.
I don't know. It's not like
They
don't have cow farms there.
There's pigs all over the place in China. Totally.
Is there?
It's one of the zodiacs.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they glow bright green. Supposedly, the scientists are preparing to reveal to the public glow-in-the-dark bunnies and sheep.
Is this so all the farmers can keep count of their livestock at night?
Or maybe it's for, like, dubstep rave parties.
Wub, 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 wub.
Release the pigs.
Oh, my God!
That was supposed to be that.
Wow.
What's that? What's that Skrillex? Oh my God! I don't know. You know
I know what you're talking about. I do.
The pigs, oh my God, they're just like dancing.
The bunnies are on Molly.
Just fucking glowing. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it'd make hunting a lot easier for the bunnies, like people that small game hunt. 22.
That would be an awful thing to do, to release the glow-in-the-dark animals into the wild.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
They would be dead. They would be extinct in no time.
They just. Can you imagine though, like how that would be an awful business strategy? Let's take all this money and invest in making these animals glow just so they'd be killed.
Did you hear they also proved the existence of earthquake lights? Have you ever heard of earthquake lights? Supposedly,
yeah,
lights,
but you should explain it.
Lights that like kind of come up out of the ground and go up towards the sky during right before earthquakes and shit.
Like they could feel the earthquake, and
I don't know. I didn't really read it. I just heard.
So people know.
Yeah.
They know. Oh shit, we should run.
Most people probably don't. They're just like, "What the fuck? I just saw a ghost."
Yeah, like something just came up out of the ground and came on. What is this? Okay, so everybody likes laughing at Michael Bay, correct?
Most people.
Well, Michael Bay was a guest speaker at the CES convention. There's a lot of other like conferences about global consumer technologies and stuff. And there's a new product by Samsung.
Is it a transformer?
No, it's a new TV. It's called the Curve. As it sounds, it's basically a curved television to give more of a surround sound experience type thing. Almost like, how like the IMAX is curved.
Okay.
The big.
Interesting. I don't think
so. He was brought in as a guest speaker there, and they were asking him questions and whatnot, and immediately the teleprompter blew on him. Because it was all scripted what he was going to say, and he lost his shit. Not like getting mad at the crowd. He just like was dumbfounded. He had no idea what to say. He was stumbling with Do you want to know what the hard hitting question was that stumped him so fiercely?
Yes.
What is your inspiration in making movies? True story. True story. Oh my God, I saw the video. He was like, "Well, I like to make a see what I do is I like to make a cinematic experience and for the I'm sorry, guys.
Fucking money, okay? Fucking money. Next question.
Thank God. At least he didn't say that, but he just stopped. I feel
like I'm out of here.
I feel like it was on the tip of his tongue, and he's like, "Man, I'm so glad he didn't snort that line before I came up and to talk about this."
Did they stop? Did they have more
questions?
Hold on. Or was it the last question?
But he stopped himself, and then he goes, "I'm sorry, the typo just stopped." But whatever. It's okay. I'm going to ad-lib this. Or no, he said he was going to wing it, and then the guy continued. Goes, "Okay." So, well, what do you think, the curve of this new TV is going to bring to the audience? Like, how do you think it's going to revolutionize viewing? And he just sits there and he stares off and he goes, "You know what, I'm sorry." And he just walked off the stage.
No way.
Yeah, he was so dumbfounded. He can't even tell people what his inspiration is or how his type of movie-making skills would help in watching a television that's curved.
Tried to start a slow clap there, but it was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, dude. That's
I just
awesome.
let you go with it because I don't want to cheapen the moment.
It's Michael Bay.
It's Michael Bay. The
moment
man that's
can't be
going
more
to destroy
cheapened.
the turtles. Who cares?
Oh, he already did.
No,
I haven't seen it yet.
What I love is I've seen a lot of internet bashing, not really discussion, but more hating on each other. Like people that are pro this movie and people that are anti this movie. Some people are like, "Oh gosh, he's just a producer. Get it in your mind." Like whatever this dude touches practically turns to boom-splosion shit.
Have you heard about the supposed leak? And I have a feeling that this is fake. About the description of the toys.
But it's not. Okay, the thing is, when I read this article, it was very false in what it was describing. It said, "This is what the turtles may look like for the movie." That was the tagline that got me in on the Facebook link.
Okay.
So I did see it. When I read the article, I was like, they're just taking somebody's firsthand experience of witnessing a toy line.
Yeah, but the toy line for the movie.
Right. But still.
So that's the idea, is since that's the toy line based on the movie, that might be if it's legitimate, our first glimpse into what the turtles are going to look like.
I just still think it's misleading as fuck. I was expecting.
Well, did you read like what they're
Pictures.
supposed to look like?
Yes, I did.
Like Leo's supposed to look kind of samurai style. Raph kind of
Raph
like
is
a fighter, a brawler
muscle bound.
with
brawny.
bandages around his legs and his wrists.
Mike was the smallest.
He was kind of a stoner slacker, punk style dude with I think they said he had a shirt tied around his waist and like jeans and fucking.
Yeah, and Donnie
sneakers with the toes cut
was
out.
lean, tall and lean.
Yeah, and supposedly had a bunch of like technology like grafted onto him, which it just sounds kind of fan made. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
God damn it. I know. I just know in the back of my mind I'm going to end up spending money on a movie ticket to go see that movie and be disappointed.
Let me just stop you right there, Craig, before I lose all respect for you.
There's going to be some sick feeling in me that's saying I have to see this for myself in theaters. And you know what? I'm going to be like, fuck it. I'm going IMAX 3D. And I'm going to hate you for the rest of my life, Michael Bay.
If it looks good, I'll go see it.
But here we are stating right now, if you really have that sick urge to torture yourself and see it and give in, pirate it, illegally download it. Don't give them a dime.
Craig, you're such a hypocrite. Even though I'm going to give him a dime, so we can't afford for you guys.
We can't afford for everybody to go
take
see
one
it.
for the team, guys.
I'm gonna do it because I'm a glutton for punishment and I hate myself. So I have to make sure
as much
that
as I hate Michael Bay.
I make up for it by everybody else not doing it. Illegally download it, steal it.
That's not you making up for anything.
I'm trying to. I'm just one man. Just the facts. An RPG, or role-playing game, is a game where a person assumes a role and is tasked with a quest through created scenarios via a narrative that guides through the quest. Usually laced with elements of fantasy, choice is one of the biggest factors. These games have a formal set of rules which are often open to interpretation. This can vary based on the type of game played. Whether you are manning a spaceship or questing through a dungeon, the ultimate goal of these games are to have fun.
As with any game, that's one thing to keep in mind when you're gaming and you're getting frustrated.
Yeah, lots of anger ruins gaming
The point
for
of a
everybody.
game is to have fun. So if you're not having fun,
Play a different game.
yeah, put the controller down, put away the dice.
Leave
take
the
a
hate
break.
at home, peoples. I'm telling you, nothing pisses me off more than beating somebody in like a Magic tournament and then having them flip shit.
Well, hey, this isn't the CCG episode. This is the RPG episode.
We're talking RPG. Yeah, you know me. Who down with RPG?
Every last on me.
I'm glad we busted into that.
The roots of RPGs can be traced all the way back to the 16th. The roots of RPGs can be traced all the way back to 16th century Europe.
Yeah, like war games and stuff, right?
Yeah, even before that, I think it was a lot of performance stuff. Like there were performances that were acted out. And there was,
yeah, they were basically LARPing and shit.
yeah, but not like it was something people would go see, I think. But what we now know as modern RPGs began in the 1970s.
Yeah, 1974 was a good year for like Dungeons and Dragons, I would say, because I guess that's the year it was born.
That's the year that it was created, so
Yeah.
it was a good year for it.
Mr. Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson came together and brought their two creative minds, fan of war games mixed with creative fantasy storytelling. They made Dungeons and Dragons, which is what we would now call a pen and paper game, since there are so many different types of RPGs now.
Tabletop RPG is what I've always
Well,
called
I would consider like the tabletop more of, say, like Warhammer and stuff, where you have figures and stuff. Pen and paper is a PNP.
Well, maybe a pen
That's
and
what
paper.
a lot of people call it.
A pen and paper is a tabletop, is a RPG.
I guess you need a tabletop to write on the pen. I mean,
You
on
don't
the paper,
write on the pen.
paper. The pen and the
Wait,
paper.
I thought that high school diploma looked oddly forged. The fact that it was just like paper
What?
wrapped around a pen was my first hint.
I don't know what you're talking about. Craig Lewis is unavailable for comment.
That's why Craig does a podcast. We've been through this before. His inability to write or read just makes this his only option.
I went to 2 classes, and once they said you have to write a story, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm out. Can I dictate it?
Can I listen to a story? Is that an available option?
Can you give me an A for watching season 1 of Dexter?
How about, can you just give me an A? Like, is that cool?
That's not how it works. I pay you money to come to school, and you don't just give me A's?
Press A to continue, teacher. Press A to fucking continue.
But each textbook is $300. You don't give me an A for owning one? As of right now, all the college kids are up in arms like, yeah!
5-star ratings. So that's how it happens.
That's how you get it. They're like, man, these guys get it. They know our struggles. I was once young like you, yes sir. So yeah, Gygax and Arneson, they created a company called TSR to, make this game public, and it took fire.
They didn't originally intend to sell that many copies.
Yeah, they just thought, send it out to some people, see if we can get a couple people playing the game.
Yeah, but it blew up. It had an underground following, like a cult following developed around it.
Who would have thought there were that many virgins out there?
Hey, Craig. A lot of people play Dungeons and
Whoa.
Dragons.
That is true.
That's an old, outdated stereotype, my good sir.
It really is. I myself have not ever
Had sex, we know.
You are wrong, sir. And for so many reasons, I could explain why after the podcast.
I'd rather you didn't.
I've never played Dungeons and Dragons myself. I had met a few people at other jobs that I worked. One person was actually an experienced DM, which is a dungeon master. The person behind the scenes that's controlling everything.
If you're not familiar enough with RPGs, we should back up a little and explain that generally in the gaming, one player is the game master. In Dungeons and Dragons, the dungeon master.
Right.
And they're pretty much God. Like, they control everything that happens in the world.
They do all the roles.
Yes. All the calculating. They have the maps, the scheme, the direction.
They know the story that you're going to... Well, they don't... They know the story that you're going to unfold.
Yeah. And then the other players all play a specific character. Each of them has their own character that grows and develops and becomes more skilled in their trades.
Player character, if you will.
Yes. And, a good game master will allow them the freedom to make decisions and affect the outcome of the campaign. A campaign is a gaming session, if you will, a story,
Unfortunately,
a plot.
it doesn't always
And
happen that way.
At the same time...
I've heard stories of, people that knew or
abuse
played games.
their power.
They were turned off of the game itself because of bad DM.
Yeah, of course.
Somebody who's like, nope, I'm
Human
God.
nature.
And I mean, a lot of times the
God
roller
nature.
will have the role behind like a cardboard, like a separation board, and so they could lie about,
Well, you should have that board. And sometimes
I know
lying is a useful tool in the Dungeon Master's kit. Sometimes to preserve a good game, you have to. But with a good Dungeon Master, they only do it when they have to, and you'll never know that they did it or even suspect it.
Right. Because, if they just try to... I'm saying the line like always just try to screw the player over,
Exactly.
That's bad.
But there are some times where
You
it's
are a
like,
bad God.
let's say you do just make a phenomenal roll that's just like, there goes all the dramatic tension of this whole thing I planned out. Sometimes it is a good call.
like you killed the final dragon in one shot.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it's a good call for him to fudge the details a little. Or like, if you're just not getting something and you're not going the direction he needed you to go, to maybe change it and be like, okay, I'm going to change it and it's over this way.
So, yeah, I knew somebody who was one. And even had rules, like, to get the game going. He would say on the nights we get together, there's no drinking allowed because that just takes away from the game. People stop paying attention, and it fucks everything up. But he had invited me to start, in a game with him.
Now, what if I was playing a character that was a drunken character?
Well, obviously, he should allow you to get into the act, yeah. Get into the character. Feel this, man. Whether it be a drunkard or a draw elf.
It can't be both?
A drunken draw.
I've heard it pronounced dro.
Yes, that's what a lot of people say it as, but technically the pronunciation is draw.
And those are, of course, dark elves.
Yep. From the creator's mouth.
Of Dungeons and Dragons. Dark
Yes.
elves go back all
Yes.
the way back to Norse mythology.
See. he invited me into a game, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to play. And then when I found out, I'm like, I can't make a weekly commitment to you, man. I'm sorry. I figured, yeah, I'll come over tonight or whatever and play it. And maybe I will like it, but I can't guarantee I'm going to be free this night. It's like opening up for like a bowling league.
That's the difficult thing about it.
A lot of people the game takes forever, if you have a good one. And your character, you just keep playing your characters, keep building them up.
And it's a lot of fun.
Quest for quest.
But yeah, to get people to be able to make a weekly commitment like that.
Right. For 3-4 hours, and usually it's always at night, and now we're adults. Our work schedules bind us from a lot of things. A lot of people don't have set schedules. Even
just to set us up one night a week to record a podcast.
It's always different. Some days we'll be doing it at noon on a Wednesday. Another week we'll do it at 10 p.m. on a Thursday, 9 on a Friday. So, of course, Gygax and Arneson made this great game that a lot of people were playing now. And Arneson decided to leave. He, just didn't want to do it anymore. Something else came up, whatever. So he left, and Gary Gygax paired up with somebody else.
So what, did he give the rights of D&D to Gary Gygax?
He didn't. He decided he was just leaving. He didn't sell off his share of it or whatever, or give all the legal rights to him. He was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm okay, whatever. Then Gygax decided to partner up with Brian Bloom to continue, and they made a fortune off it, and Arneson saw $0 of this. But he still owned royalties, which he wasn't given. So there was a huge legal battle between the two of them. They're trying to say, he left. He doesn't have any rights to this anymore.
Oh, my God. Was it like, I'm imagining that it was like a legal battle. They
brought
their foam swords to the fucking courtroom and everything.
The koosh balls.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm teleporting.
That's cheating. You haven't gained that ability yet. Finally, after a grueling session of LARPing.
Legal LARPing.
Legal LARPing.
Legal action roleplay.
Arneson finally got We did it. We made it work.
Made it twerk.
He was finally given the rights he was due.
Hercules. Sorry, go on.
I don't ever want you to do that. Just saying. But the problem is, he also now has no more claims to it. He gets the royalties and whatnot, but his name is completely off of everything. And he's almost been forgotten in the community. And Gary Gygax is the one that just gets the praise for it. Like, it's almost as if they're reworking history to that. Gygax just created it on his own. So, Mr. Arneson, thank you for what you did. You helped bring a game to life. We haven't forgotten you.
And which one was he? Because there was like, I don't know if this was what caused the split, but wasn't there a disagreement between them in how to present the game? And that's why we have Dungeons & Dragons and Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Whereas Dungeons & Dragons is more of a simplified, watered-down version. Do this adventure, you know what I mean, finish it. And Advanced Dungeons & Dragons deals with the minutia
even
of
more
everything.
intricate.
And maintaining long-term role-playing.
Right. Actually, Arneson would be the simplified, dumber version.
Okay. That's what I was assuming, because obviously AD&D is the part that's still going and not the simple one.
Exactly.
But the threefold model, have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of plenty of models. Heidi
I'm asking about
Cindy
one
Crawford.
Well, the threefold model explains how RPGs work. It's like a theory, basically, regarding how role-playing games at their center work, what defines them and motivates them. Basically, there are three main goals in role-playing.
I really thought this was like a type of table.
No. If you want to imagine it as a diagram, you can imagine it as a triangle with each of these goals at one separate point on the triangle, one separate corner. Drama, game, and simulation. They're all pretty self-explanatory. Drama refers to
the story.
Yeah, creating literary elements, intriguing adventure, character development, etc., etc. Tension, dramatic tension, stuff like that. Game refers to the challenge of it, the difficulties to overcome, you know what I mean? Obviously the the playing out of the numbers and
Right.
you know the fights and the balance of the game and the challenge. Simulation refers to allowing this world to play out
Allowing
according
it to grow,
to its rules, and not according to game rules or dramatic influence. And simulation would be like, well, this happened, and by these laws of cause and effect,
Right.
this happens. So a good dungeon master, to go back to that point, knows how to balance these three goals: drama, game, and simulation, so that none of them suffer at the expense of another, but all three are properly represented.
So you'd want to be in the center of the triangle, if you would.
And at the same time, different game masters have different styles of play. So different game masters, yes, may be represented as different points somewhere in the triangle. Or certain aspects of role-playing may be represented as different points somewhere within the triangle that assist one goal, if you will. Of course, there's been a lot of controversy about Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing
No way,
in
it's
general.
just a game. What's the controversy about?
Oh, this stupid shit, man.
Is it about porn and video game? No,
People that don't understand their own religions getting all pissed off, and supposedly there's been allegations that it's known to cause or encourage suicide, schizophrenia, Satanism, devil worship, summoning of demons, practice of sorcery and witchcraft.
Well, honestly, I do, to their credit, I do have to say you and I both thought that Harry Potter stuff wasn't real, but apparently
Harry Potter's not real, Craig. It's a book.
No. Remember according to the teen exorcists from Arizona, they said all that shit, they really do spells and shit over in England.
Yeah.
Apparently that does happen.
Yeah, they've come after Harry Potter, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons
and
Dragons.
It always seems to be the same
Rings.
groups. And listen, right now we are not going to hate on Christianity in itself, but there are sects and groups of people that are so,
it's not just Christianity.
Far ingrained into it.
It's
But
any
a lot
belief
of them
system. It's militant, and yes, because this country is founded on a lot of Christian beliefs, so there's more of an opportunity for there to be that type of belief-oriented oppression. But it has nothing to do with the actual belief system of Christianity itself.
Exactly.
It's just like in Muslim countries, there's more of an opportunity for Muslim belief-centered oppression. And you know what I mean? And other countries, where there's other religions, there's
obviously
more of an opportunity for that.
I mean, like you would think the ones calling it Satanists, and those, like you said, it could be from any of the groups, but they're usually very fundamentalist in their thinking, stubborn. They like you said, they don't understand their own beliefs well enough,
or really the game itself.
And or the game itself, and they just take it out.
There's deities, demons, stuff like that.
Anytime you mention
things from mythology, which is like, honestly, like you're not respecting the mythologies and the cultures of other people when you're instantly writing anything that concerns this type of thing off. Besides that, like, role-playing is a platform for you to play a character. Now, you can play in Dungeons and Dragons. There's eight or nine different alignments. I don't remember how many. I know it's I could list them all right now and then we'd know, but I don't feel like it. But you know what I mean? Chaotic good, chaotic evil, neutral
how
good,
many times
lawful evil.
People playing are like, I'm the true knight, the good shining knight.
Yeah, more or less, you're usually playing good characters who are triumphing over evil.
Obviously, there is that one, wacky dude that's like, nope, I'm a dark mage, I'm a blood mage, I hate life and everything, but without this game,
it's fucking storytelling. Compelling storytelling has characters of all colors, just like the real world.
But at least, thank God for this game that this person's not out there actually performing this stuff. He has an outlet to perform it.
Right.
And yes, you're right.
For some reason, Julian's character just keeps stabbing every bunny rabbit we see. I don't understand.
He's skinning it alive.
This is not what this D20 system was made for.
Is this backpack full of dead raccoons?
Well, there were a lot of allegations of D&D causing suicides and all this stuff. One very well-publicized, well-known event, dramatized in the popular book and made-for-TV movie
Would that
Mazes and
be the
Monsters.
Tom Hanks flick?
Yeah.
Yeah, all you that didn't know, Tom Hanks was young once, and he was in a movie called Mazes and Monsters.
Yeah, he played 16-year-old James Dallas Egbert III. Best name for a D&D player ever, might I say.
That's not his. It was the kid's name. That wasn't his character's name.
Yeah, not his character. The kid, like a kid that plays D&D. James Dallas Egbert III. Great fucking name. Supposedly,
Great name.
Really, this kid didn't even play D&D. He went into the underneath his school. There was almost like a labyrinth of tunnels, I guess, like these like utility tunnels.
Now, are you
and
telling
shit.
the real story or the dramatized story?
This is real, and
Okay.
he went down there to commit suicide, and he failed, and he ended up hiding at one of his friend's house. And during this time, the media popularized the story that he got really wrapped up in a live-action interpretation of a D&D game.
Right, he lost his mind and he went cuckoo for Cocoa
Yeah,
Puffs.
got lost down there, lost his mind, and fucking died, or went crazy, or whatever. And that's not at all what happened. There's all sorts of stories that were in the media. There were other ones. It's all bullshit. Like,
Well, I
this
saw
is a
the
game.
movie, and the only thing I can tell you right now is that Mazes and Monsters is a pretty far-out game.
See, Dungeons and Dragons doesn't make you lose your mind and kill people and commit suicide. That's Call of Cthulhu. Or that's Cthulhu Munchkin.
Well put, man. I have Cthulhu Munchkin, and I lost my mind. I became a cultist
Yes.
rather quickly. That was one of the first cards I got.
In 2004, as recently as 2004, there were some prisoners who were finding solace in their confinement playing Dungeons and Dragons together.
Did they get beaten up by the cool jock prisoners?
They came up and gave them
They got
wedgies.
shanked.
Give us your lunch money. We don't have lunch money.
Shank with a toothbrush.
Give us your commissary. Commissaries don't work like that. I can't just give you my commissary, man. Come on, give me a reasonable demand. I got a cigarette. I'll give you this fucking cigarette.
Oh, what
I don't smoke. Trade it to someone. But no, they didn't.
I don't think anybody would turn down a cigarette in jail. Those are like gold bars.
Yeah.
Prison
Basically,
currency.
what happened was anonymous inmate wrote a letter ratting them out, saying that they were forming a gang. It was 4 people that were playing this game.
Big whoop. Aren't there tons of gangs in prison?
Right? And
I've never been there, but
they're
according-
worried about the Dungeons and Dragons game. Fuck the Latin Kings. Fuck the KKK.
Right.
The fucking Aryan Nation. The fucking Black Panthers. Fuck all these gangs in prison that are fucking shanking each other. And, you know, they're worried about the fucking
real
party.
gangs.
The traveling party of a bard, a merry dwarf, and a fucking elven archer.
And a barbarian warrior.
Well, there were 4 people playing. One of them had to be the dungeon master.
Oh, okay.
Let's be realistic here, Craig.
Fair enough. I've already forgotten everything about P&P games.
Yeah, so prison faculty came and confiscated all the D&D stuff, took it away. The prisoners tried to appeal against it, and unfortunately...
Request denied.
And unfortunately, in 2010, they upheld the ban as a reasonable policy.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want these guys to actually, have an outlet from this madness. They deserve to have this hellhole.
I honestly can't imagine Dungeons and Dragons having a bad effect on any of these people. Anyone that's been jailed for something like... I'm not saying Dungeons and Dragons is going to help, but what bad is it going to do?
It depends on the DM.
Right.
He's
Gucci
like, no.
Mane strangled his dungeon
He's
master.
like, you need to roll higher than a 19 in order to not be immediately killed. You've hit in a trap.
So do you, bitch!
Oh,
Ah!
God! I'm bleeding all over. This all could have been avoided if we just kept the ban. Obviously, as video game consoles and games for the PC started to, launch
Become
and
a
become
thing.
popular, become a pop, Yes, become
an actual thing.
Become an actual thing.
Popular thing.
Obviously, the next step would be to transfer to this medium, where we now have all sorts of different RPGs in video games, be it on the PC, on 360, PS4, PS3, Xbox One, all the way back to your frickin' Macintosh computer.
And what a lot of people don't think about is that these games pretty much fundamentally still run on the same basic principles and engine, if you will, that D&D was built off of and established.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even if you play, everything's completely simulated and randomized. Like, you just don't see the dice rolls happening, say, when you're playing a game, and that's what determines whether you have a basic hit, a critical hit, things like that.
And you got the computer playing the role of Dungeon Master, doing all those calculations for you.
Did you ever play or hear about Zork?
Nope.
It was the first text-based game, one of the very early setters to an RPG on the computer.
Okay.
Basically, it would just be a full narrative, and you would type in commands on what for your character to do.
Yeah, I've heard of this. I just didn't remember.
A lot of people,
Zork at all.
one popular thing a lot of people see now is Big Bang Theory. The one main character on that show, he would be like, "Oh, tonight is Zork night."
Oh yeah,
yeah, and there was
Sheldon.
Sheldon, yeah.
I hate Big Bang Theory.
Honestly, I did at first until I actually gave it a real shot. It's hilarious. They're mocking nerds. How dare they? Enough people already mock nerds, but it's really fun and heartwarming almost.
It's like this mainstream Hollywood's perception of like what it's like to be a nerdy dude.
Right.
You're this cute, TV-friendly looking guy with stylish fucking retro style clothes.
Yeah, completely
that
socially
hangs out
awkward.
with really hot girls. And does manage to maintain a few relationships, and you like hang out and make jokes about science, and like it's so like, and you sing songs with like nerdy like references, and it's just so like, I don't know, like it misses the mark. Somebody that actually has maybe lived that lifestyle should make that show,
Oh, you mean the people at CBS didn't live that?
I feel like it's just cashing in on like nerdy shit being popular, and popular people that now like nerdy shit being like, this is how nerds live, right? It's so cute. I don't know.
I believe what
Maybe
you're thinking of
cynical.
is the TBS show King of the Nerds.
I've never seen it.
Oh, my God.
I don't care to.
It's a reality show.
I was about to say that's a reality show.
It's a reality
that's
show.
That's different. But still, probably the same.
Nowadays, computer and console RPGs are divided into two different camps. The single player or the multiplayer.
Yep.
Multiplayer usually being a giant MMO or massive multiplayer online video game, which would be the World of Warcraft, Warhammer 4000, EverQuest.
Remember that?
Most of those are... Remember that. It's still going, man.
It was big back in the late 90s.
Yeah. The type of things you normally have a monthly activation fee type stuff for.
And that's one thing that, the video gaming aspect of role-playing revolutionized is there was never a single-player role-playing game before that, because how would that work and how would that be fun?
And yeah, because one person, are you kidding me? Now one person could sit in his room, turn on the game, put on Final Fantasy, and live a role-playing game, with a controller. Whatever, man.
You trying to sell me Final Fantasy games?
Not anymore. Get it? Because they suck now?
Well, you're not pumped for Lightning Returns? You're not going to pre-order it and get the Cloud costume for Lightning?
I don't know what you just said.
Was that English? Is this about Gucci Mane?
Yeah, Lightning Return, man. No, are you talking about Final Fantasy 14 online or Final Fantasy 15?
No, it's the new I think it's the new Final Fantasy 13, Lightning Reborn or something.
Honestly, I had Final Fantasy 13 for a total of 2 weeks. Played 3 hours into it and was like,
is that the one with Lightning?
Like
a girl named Lightning?
Yeah, it's the girl.
Okay, yeah.
And she's got the partner who's got a little mini chocobo, in his head, in his
I want
afro.
a chocobo. I don't care if it's mini
It's a
or
baby.
I'd rather have
It's a baby
regular
chocobo
size.
in his
I'll
afro.
take a baby. I'll raise it to be regular size.
It has to live in your afro.
I don't have an afro.
Damn,
it can
you're
live
out
in
of
my
luck.
beautiful golden locks.
See, if this was a video game, maybe. But
Oh my
in
god,
real life,
that'd
it
be
would just
so
fall out.
dope.
There's a possibility it's not a chocobo,
I
but
would do anything
it's
for
a little
fucking
baby check.
chocobo, dude. Oh my god, can you imagine if I had a chocobo and a Pikachu?
yes, surprisingly, I can.
It would be the coolest thing ever.
You would be on cloud nine. You'd be like, I don't need anything else in my life. I'm content. Now, there's also two separate sub-camps in the solo player. You have what are known as Western RPGs versus JRPGs, or Japanese RPGs, which, let's face it, they do it better, probably.
As with most video games.
The Japanese role-playing game tends to be more linear with its storytelling and limited with your choices. Basically what I'm saying versus the Western RPG, which is, Americanized RPGs, say you might level up in a game, you'll be able to choose how many stat points go to strength, how many stat points go to this and that, agility, defense.
You're thinking shit like Fallout and
Yes.
Borderlands and stuff.
Yes, Western RPGs is going to be your Mass Effect series, your Fallout series, your Elder Scrolls series, Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, your Borderlands.
I played a lot of Morrowind back in the day.
Did you? But yeah, a lot of the difference between Western and JRPGs is the fact that one's more limited in choice and the things you do. Western ones, all your options are there for you to choose. You can choose to do something else. You can choose to continue the story. Even in the dialogue, most of the games, you get your choice of what you want to say in response.
JRPGs a lot of times are really convoluted, complicated, intense plot narratives.
So it has to automatically tell you this is what this guy's going to say.
Yeah.
You can't, there's no, because if you say that now, you're going to fuck up the rest of the game 30 hours down the road.
Will you do me a favor, Craig, and describe to me the plot of Final Fantasy VII?
No.
Correct answer. Final Fantasy VII is my favorite.
I
It's
saw
great, but,
I saw the anime one with Cloud.
I defy you to just sit somebody down and just be like, all right, look, this is the story of Final Fantasy VII in a nutshell.
Ride around in a chocobo for a few minutes. You meet a fisherman.
That's any Final Fantasy game.
All I can tell you is I saw the anime Final Fantasy movie.
Really?
With Cloud.
Oh, the computer animated one?
Yeah.
It was really cool, but it did a disservice to the story. Like, Final Fantasy VII doesn't need a sequel. Its
Right.
story was self-contained, so it kind of cheapened the story of the original. But I don't care because it was a badass movie to watch. I really enjoy watching it. I've seen it a few times.
Oh, I only watched it once. It was cool, but it wasn't anything I felt like I would ever see again.
Fair enough. Craig, if I just asked you, just on the spot right now, what are your favorite, I don't know, like your 9 favorite RPGs in ranked order?
What? On the spot?
Yeah, like
Oh, God,
in
really?
order
You really?
from 9th favorite to first favorite. Like, I don't know, like just, on the fly, like what would you say?
I don't think I've ever given that any thought before, but maybe if I just pull out this top 9 list of my favorite RPG games.
Do you just carry that in your like inside coat pocket? Like,
you know what? Normally people would make fun of me for having this with me at all times, but I bet you're happy now.
Occasion.
This is the one time everybody is.
See, Mom!
I knew it'd come in handy one day. I did.
All right, well, let's jump right into this bitch. Craig Lewis's top 9 favorite RPGs. Mind you, these aren't the top 9 best RPGs. These are his favorites. The ones that had the biggest personal effect on him.
There are going to be a lot of games I didn't play or I just didn't flat out didn't like that are people's favorites. So fuck off.
Number 9.
We talked about its predecessors. I would say The Elder Scrolls 4, Skyrim.
Your number 9 favorite RPG
is Skyrim.
So it just barely made the list.
Just barely.
Did you just default it into there since it's supposed to be so great, or is it
No, I honestly liked it.
Legitimately was one step away from not making it.
Yeah, it was on the cusp with.
There was someone that didn't make it that
Yeah,
Skyrim budged off.
Yeah, it actually just edged out Mass Effect 2.
So I'm sure Mass Effect 3 is somewhere on this list, but I mean, I'm not trying to spoil it.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah, I really enjoyed Skyrim. It was a fun game to play. You learn there's this one spot in the beginning of the game. If you want to max out your illusion, you can cast a spell, which would be Courage, on another party member, an NPC, which is a non-playable character, and nothing would happen, but you would gain the stat for illusion eventually. So you could sit there for, hours, 2 or 3 hours, and max out your illusion just by going to this one guard that never leaves a post. Just keep casting it on him and casting it on him, like constantly, and you'll eventually...
And that's why it made my list.
That's just one thing I remember doing.
I couldn't really get into it because I don't like first-person games.
Well, you can make it third-person.
Even their third-person
the third person
mode
feels awkward.
Felt like a first-person game. Like it still felt like I was controlling.
And I think that's the tightness of the analog sticks, like how tight the movement is.
It's just the way the movement works. Everything. Like I felt like I was controlling the camera still, but there was a little picture of a guy in front of it to make it feel like.
Right.
It was third person, but it was still just the same control scheme, just pulled back a little bit. Like, as compared to a platformer where I actively feel like I'm moving this character around on this 3D surface and not seeing through the camera that I'm moving around,
I totally understand what you're saying, and I felt that way, but maybe not know it,
Strafing left and right.
Right.
And all this shit.
It feels like a mouse movement on a computer, honestly.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Dragon Age Origins.
Ooh, another one I haven't played, but I remember when you were playing it.
Really good. Yeah, the fighting style is weird. That also plays out like a PC game, which is interesting because I hate PC gaming. I love having the controller. And I know I can get a controller for my computer. But
playing on a keyboard is kind of awkward.
It is awkward, especially because you're not used to really basically you're typing all the commands with your left and using the viewpoint of the mouse to the right, things like that. It's not my bag, but Dragon Age was a game that came out on the 360. It has an amazing story to it, so immense. They kind of ruined the second one a little bit with the combat, and everything was so repetitive. Every single map was exactly the same. Like, there were 4 or 5 different maps. There was a city map, there was a sewers map, there was a forest map, and there was a cave map. And they would have the same exact map constantly for a different place, each different place. Only one would be front ways, the other way would be backwards.
Aww.
Just reversed, And it was so repetitive, man.
In a modern age, gaming world, that's not acceptable.
No, not at all.
Number 7.
Mass Effect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your favorite video game franchise of all time is not your favorite RPG.
Is not my favorite RPG. It's weird, isn't it? I think it's more because that as a whole I think of as, my favorite.
Yes. I understand.
But this individual game doesn't rank as high as, say, other individual games.
It's way farther. I honestly didn't expect it to be number 1. I didn't expect you to be that predictable. But I did not expect it to be number 7. Expect it to be a little higher up.
Yeah. Who knows? As much as I love the game itself, I can admit to a lot of its flaws. The side missions can get a little monotonous. When you're in you go to different planets on this buggy and you're driving around, and a lot of that is kind of bullshit and just boring. But the other things, it was one of the big ones where the choices you make in the game affect outcomes in the future game. I know you've heard that.
Yeah, that was fascinating.
You can carry your character over
episode 10.
Right. You can carry your character over into the games. It is, I talked about it a lot on the Mass Effect episode. I rambled on, and probably it was the most boring episode we ever did. But the story itself is just amazing, and that's why it makes it on there. The combat is fun, and all the different choices you
I
make
I guess if you want to hear more about Mass Effect, go listen to episode 10.
If you want to hear about the story intricately, I will tell you it in episode 10.
Right now. This is going to be a 3-hour podcast, people.
So you are Commander Shepard.
Number 6.
Kingdoms of Amalur. Reckoning.
Oh, yes. I've heard of this game. I've seen it played a little bit.
It is newer.
Cool.
It is extremely fun.
It's not that new anymore. It's been
not anymore.
For a while now.
2011, I think, is when it came out. I don't know. It was run by 3-8 Studios, which eventually got shut down. Mr. Major League pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, Curt Schilling, owned it, and he is a bad owner.
No way.
He ran the thing into the ground, filed for bankruptcy, and it's a shame because this game was fantastic. The story itself is penned by my favorite author,
R.A. Salvatore?
R.A. Salvatore. Tolkien got me back into reading itself, and it got me into, when you find that book that really gets you into it and you find a genre that you just truly love reading about.
Sure.
Fantasy became a genre that I loved reading about. There was one particular character I fell in love with, and I have to thank my nephew's father for this because he heard that I, had just recently finished reading the Lord of the Rings trilogy back when I was in college. And he bought me this book called The Crystal Shard. It is R.A. Salvatore's first book.
What's his name? Not Dimmu Borgir. That's a band.
Drizzt Do'Urden.
Yeah, Drizzt Do'Urden. Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
Not so you're not talking about Dimmu Borgir.
It's a metal band.
Yeah, he's cool. He's pretty cool. There used to be a magazine published, 2 magazines actually, monthly, called Dungeon, and the other one was called Dragon.
Okay.
And Dungeon was for game masters, dungeon masters, and Dragon was for players. And they would offer hints, new things that they can do, like all this, new equipment, all this, stuff.
Is this going to lead up to R.A. Salvatore?
Yeah, they used to run comics about Drizzt Do'Urden in the back of them.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's hard to pronounce his name because D-R-I, apostrophe Z-Z-T.
He was a dark elf, thief
Yes.
type roguish character, right?
No, he wasn't a rogue. He was a ranger.
Okay. Because I never read any of the books, so I'm only familiar with him from those comics, and they had a comical edge to them.
Okay, yeah, he was like a tracker, very in tune with the earth. He did not like his home of the Dark Elves, where he was a noble person when he was born, and all the Dark Elves are generally an awful race of people of elves. They are
Fair
very
enough.
mean.
You racist bastard.
Their main god is a spider of chaos. So
That's so fucking
creatures,
metal.
isn't it? Isn't it though? And he left the dark world to come up to the surface, and there was a big reckoning almost, when he finally saw the sun. It was just he felt liberated, And then
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
I love this character. I love this character to death. I would recommend anybody to read the Legend of Drizzt series or Drizzt.
Anybody?
Anybody.
What
please.
about somebody that hates fantasy?
It'll make you love fantasy.
What about somebody who's like, I hate all that pussy elf fairy shit? Huh.
Go do a keg stand, bro.
Did they got a Madden book?
Yeah. So yeah, Kingdoms of Amalur. It's an amazing story from a great...
That's what we were talking about. I was like, Drizzt Do'Urden had a game?
He did. He did. He was actually in a game. It's called Demon Stone. He's on the Xbox.
No shit.
You actually get to play as Drizzt.
That's pretty cool.
Definitely. But that's not on the list. Even though that's probably one of my favorite moments in gaming history, finally playing as Drizzt.
Oh, yeah.
Number 5.
Whoa.
What?
What the fuck?
The fuck
Sorry,
just
hold on.
happened? Is there a glitch in the system?
All right.
Number 5.
Knights of Old Republic 2, the Star Wars game.
Oh, okay.
It was so good. There's just something about it. The everything from the combat to the story. It was very fun. The ending, I'm not going to spoil, obviously, but I would say it was better than the first ending. The first ending seemed like a cop-out ripoff.
What happened?
Basically, no, I'm not gonna. You're not gonna rope me into telling you the ending of the stories.
Spoiler alert: Craig's
Number 4.
entry is
Chrono Trigger.
You son of a bitch.
Love
I'll
Chrono
fight you
Trigger.
right now, you son of a bitch.
How is that?
No, hold on. We're going to take a quick break from Craig's top 9 list to bring you Nathan Capisser's top 1 role-playing games.
Was it
Number
Chrono Trigger?
1. Chrono Trigger. Get the fuck out of the secret room, bitch.
Oh my god, are you just mad that there's 4 and not 1? Is that what you're mad about?
Your top 3 better be damn good.
Jesus Christ, I think I just lost you as a friend. Chrono Trigger is so high on my list, though. It really is. I consider that very high.
You must be so high to put Chrono Trigger so low on your list. Yeah, you see what I did there? A little trickery, wordplay, and shenanigans.
I tell you what.
Syntactical shenanigans. Chrono Trigger, however, is a fantastic,
absolutely
amazing
fantastic.
fucking RPG. Considered by many, apparently not all, to be the best RPG ever made.
I'm sorry,
Nathan. It was originally on the Super Nintendo. It was a phenomenal game.
It was the sole reason I purchased a DS.
Yeah, it was re-released on first the PlayStation and then the DS.
I never owned the PS1?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's phenomenal. It's all about time traveling, very Final Fantasy-esque, created by Akira Toriyama.
And a Frog King is your best friend.
He's not a Frog King.
He's a Frog King in my heart.
He was like a page. He was like a learning from a knight, and he got turned into a frog. He definitely wasn't a Frog King.
He's my Frog King. Frog King of my heart.
Number 3, which better be fucking good.
Lost Odyssey. It was on the 360.
Yeah,
it's a
I've
JRPG.
heard of it. I don't really know much about it, but
oh, it's so good. You're basically an immortal who has a few other immortals, and you're stranded on Earth.
You better fucking be if you're trying to
there's a
step
few.
ahead of Chrono Trigger.
No, but there's 5 immortals, and this guy has made everybody lose their memories, basically. But the point is to come across and learn all your memories and regain your memories. And there was one flaw where I felt that it could have picked up because the cutscenes were absolutely beautiful. The cinematography, the graphic designing, everything, the characters was beautiful. Cutscenes were perfect. It was like a really good animated movie. But when you find these dreams or memories that you have, it's all in text and you have to just read it to like a music that plays that's usually very indicative of the setting of how, it's supposed to play out. And it just, hands down, I recommend 100%. Lost Odyssey, check it out.
Number 2, and this shit better fucking be good, because you know what? Fuck it. Lost Odyssey can have 3. Number 3 ain't shit. But if Chrono Trigger ain't gonna be number 1, I mean, it should probably be number 2. So this is the real, fucking number 2. It better be good, Craig.
Well, I'm a Star Wars fan. I have Knights of the Republic 1. The first one.
You did not double up and make Knights of the Old Republic 2 your number 2. Wait.
No, the first one is number 2. The second one is number 5.
Did you just spoiler alert? You're number 1?
No.
Wait, what? I'm so
We're on number
confused.
2.
This is way too much math for me right now.
We're on number 2.
The first one is number 1. The second one's number 5.
No, the first one is number 2. The second one is number 5. We haven't done number 1 yet.
I can't keep up with this. So what are we talking about now? Knights of the Old Republic 2?
The first one. That was 2 was 5. Oh my god! My brain just exploded.
Knights of the Old Republic 1.
Yes, it honestly made it this high up because it is one of the games that.
Wait. Knights of the Old Republic 1, as
1.
in numerical 1, or Knights of the Old Republic 1, like it's your number 1 on your list, it won
No,
the list.
no.
I'm so confused right now.
It's not number one on my list.
Can we just I'm so confused, and maybe we should just stop recording and just pick back up next week and get to your number one next week.
No, you can have. Okay, that's it. You know what?
Check out the Facebook page.
You can have 5 minutes.
Check
to
out
gather
the Twitter
your shit.
page. Check out the YouTube. Check out the Yahoo. Check out the Tumblr.
Nathan.
Check out the MySpace.
Nathan, stop.
Check out the Reddit.
Nathan, stop. We don't have a MySpace.
Check out the
Stop.
Daily Motion.
Nathan, stop.
Check
Stop.
out the Blip.
Stop. We don't have that either. Or Daily
Check
Motion.
out the Instagram.
Stumble Upon. No, we don't have none of that.
Check out the Stumble
Stop.
Upon.
Nathan, you have 5 minutes to gather yourself, and then I'm going to continue.
We are not going to have you do that for 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right, wait, what was your number 2?
The first Knights of the Republic video game.
Okay.
And honestly, the reason why it's there is because it was the first RPG that got me back into playing RPGs from when I was a kid on the Xbox.
You were a kid when the Xbox was out?
I mean, teenager, I guess. No, I hadn't been playing since I was 11, 12.
You were not
I didn't really
11
play.
or 12 when the Xbox was out.
No, I was 17. I'm saying I hadn't been playing RPGs at that
17?
since that point.
When you were 17, I was 16. The Xbox was not out. No way.
99
Really?
or 99 or 2000. I was 17.
Really? The Xbox? Are you sure?
No, how old do you think you were? No. 2001.
I'm 1 year younger
2001.
than you. 2001
Yeah, I was
sounds
17.
a lot more likely than 99.
I was 17, though. I was 15 in 99.
Yeah, you're right, because I was 16 in 01. Okay. Wow, the Xbox
Is
really?
that old? Yeah, the first Xbox.
01?
02 or 03 was the first time I played this game. The twist was phenomenal. It got me back into RPGs, and I've been playing a lot since then, which is why most of the games on this list are a lot more recent, within the last 8 years.
And the number one most favoritist game ever by Craig Lewis, even better than Chrono Trigger, it's
a Sega Genesis game. Sega!
Any Sega Genesis game? Just insert
Yes, all
random
of them.
Sega Genesis
Insert
game
random-
here.
no. It plays out a lot like chess.
Chessmaster?
No.
That's not an RPG. That's a chess
No.
simulator.
No, it's not Chessmaster. You are a party, and you got to stop the dark forces.
Mario Party? That's not an RPG either. Craig, I don't think you were listening to the last
You're
massive
not,
fucking podcast.
You're not getting it. You're not. You're just supposed to listen to me. Okay. It is the first RPG game I actually truly played and fell in love with. Shining Force for the Sega Genesis.
Heard a lot about it. Don't know anything about it.
Like I said, it's like chess meets Chrono Trigger meets Final Fantasy.
That sounds pretty awesome.
The story is a little lame, honestly, and a lot of it is more nostalgia. I played it a few years ago. Again, it came out on a little 360 gem called Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. It is on that, and I played it again. And why I say it's like chess is each player, when you go into battle, there's like a full screen, and you has your 8 players, and then whatever, up above on the other side of the map is the bad guys, however many there are. And depending on what character you are, depends on where you can move and how many spaces you can move.
Sure.
And you don't get to the battle until you move up everybody enough to meet up with one of the opponents. And at the same point, you want to move people up equally so you can have the healer in the same range as the people that are going and attacking.
So what you're saying is it's exactly like that Godzilla game on the NES.
No, it is actually good. Is the point?
Well, seeing as it's your number one, and seeing as it's from the classic era of gaming, which I mean that's my.
Do you at least respect
that's my
that?
bag. That's what I'm saying.
I
I'm
would
going to
say-
have to check it out. I'm going to have to give it a look-see-loo. A
Yeah,
loosey-loo.
it's very easy to get a hold of. Even if you just play it on a PS3 or whatever.
I can figure this shit out on my computer.
There's definitely a ROM for it. I mean, go buy it.
There's a few games that I personally love that I would have put on my list had I 9 that I loved enough to make a list.
Fair enough. Well, but you didn't make. Yeah, You would have just had your top 4.
One of them, suspiciously absent from your list, was Chrono Trigger.
It was number 4. It was not absent. What was absent was Pokemon.
Pokemon definitely would be.
I didn't play Pokemon until 2 years ago. So.
I mean, Pokemon Red and Blue is my favorite. Unpopular opinion, I think that Black and White were the best Pokemon entries since the first gen. Most people go for Gold and Silver,
Heart Gold
or
or
Heart Gold
Soul
and
Silver. Daha! That's the one
so
I have.
Definitely be on there.
That's the one I own.
Final Fantasy VII, I love it. If I had to pick a favorite Final Fantasy, that's it. That's the one that I have the most personal attachment to.
Fair enough. A lot of people would say, either 7 or 10.
And you know what? Say what you will. I fucking love Mario RPG.
I'm not saying anything. Our Mario RPG is great.
Yeah, trying to replay it as an adult with not a lot of time.
It was on the 64, tough. Is that correct?
No, Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, totally 3D Super Nintendo.
I will never hate on anybody saying a Mario game is their favorite unless they're not really a gamer.
It's not my favorite
even
RPG, but it's an amazing RPG.
Obviously,
I like
Chrono Trigger was your favorite.
It had a big effect.
Which I hit a few nerves not making it my number 1. You know what? Fuck it. Just for your sake, let's bring it back. It's my number 2. Shining Force my number 1. Chrono Trigger my number 2. Changing it. It's official.
No, Craig.
Just for Nathan, it's number 2.
Don't be a John Kerry over here, motherfucker. Like
I'm not even sure what that's supposed to mean. He changed his mind about things?
Either am I. If you have any idea, let us know. The best place to hit us up is at Facebook. Facebook.com/FairPointPodcast. Let us know what we meant by that.
Likes are so precious.
And like the page. Like I said,
message us.
We beat 200
Post
likes.
to our timeline.
Sure. Apparently, it's a lot more important to Craig than it is to me. Guys, you can't see him now. He's falling apart.
I'm sorry.
He's a broken shell of a man.
I have a little something called a theatrical side. I am an actor.
And if you would like to act like you give a shit about us, you can...
Fair enough.
Go to iTunes.
That's a fair point.
And you can subscribe. You can leave a rating. You can leave a review.
Leave a review. Tell us how we're doing. Seriously. Let us know. You can follow us on Twitter at FairPointPod. There will be still similar updates to what's on Facebook.
Yeah, you can do all that shit there, too. You can leave us a review and a rating there, too. Just be like, 5 stars.
5 stars. Be like, excuse me, sir, can you go and direct this to the iTunes store?
No. I don't have time for that shit.
You're doing it wrong, sir. Although I still will retweet you.
Also, send us an email about anything. Questions, episode ideas, corrections to some stupid shit we said. Lambasting us
demands?
For some stupid shit we said. Demands. Hostage demand. No, please don't.
No hostage demands.
No hostage
We're not
demands.
supporting
Pretty much
that.
anything but hostage demands. Like, just send us your shit. FairPointPodcast@yahoo.com.
Or head on over to YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Fairpoint Podcast /
Nope, you got it backwards.
YouTube.com/Fairpoint Podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty much anything /Fairpoint Podcast.
Yeah, basically.
But
head on over to it.
No Fairpoint Podcast /fanfiction.
It depends
it's cool.
on what
we respect it.
It really depends on what it is.
But it would really weird us out. No, it doesn't depend.
As long as it's not like sex.
That's what
fanfic.
/ means.
Fanfiction /
/ is homosexual like pairings of characters.
Well, sir, this is the first I've ever heard of this
for fanfiction
/ of yours.
Yeah,
don't
and
send
it's
that
nothing.
fanfic.
No, it's cool. Like if you're homosexual and you want to write fan fiction about your like favorite characters hooking up, whatever. That's your game. That's your game. Please don't do it about us because we're real people, and it would make us very uncomfortable. And I feel like right now I'm just like.
Although you know what would be funny?
We're gonna
finally
get our first
fucking
fucking email, and it's gonna be like,
Steampunk
hey,
Morgan
guys.
Freeman and Bosnian John Travolta. Go
Dude,
ahead.
I would
Have
totally read a Steampunk Morgan Freeman and Bosnian John Travolta / fanfiction. Dude, I will go gay for a Steampunk Morgan Freeman, Bosnian John Travolta / fanfiction.
It's out there. Somebody
write
do
that.
it. Somebody write it.
We will read it on air and hope we don't get get sued by either of those people.
Steampunk Morgan Freeman's.
We let them both live in the secret room for like 2 months. Like, how ungrateful would they have to be?
Yeah, seriously.
We had them over for Thanksgiving.
Next week, we have the granddaddy of all games.
Crash Bandicoot.
Close. You were like, that was like the closest guess I could have thought.
Pong.
A little further, even older. Think boards. Think
Ouija
pieces.
board.
Not so old. Or older. I'm not sure. Not Milton Bradley.
Judges, I don't know. Wikipedia, anybody?
Anybody? Do we gotta? No. Think white and black pieces.
It's always white and black.
Always white.
The world's not black and white, or white and black for that matter.
No, we're next week. Come back. We're gonna discuss chess.
Chess. This is another episode that I think is gonna be pretty cool.
Pretty dope.
So yeah, that's an episode of Fairpoint right there. That's what that is.
Not yet. It's not. We haven't signed out yet.
Touche. Fair enough.
From the secret room, I am Craig, the level 38 battle mage Lewis.
And I am Nathan, elven thief rogue guy extraordinaire.
He didn't say level 3.
Half
that was what
elf.
he was missing.
Half elf thief. Not in real life. I would never steal from somebody, but I'm saying in
Yeah, it's a game world.
Yeah, game world and game world.
Yeah, totally.
Now that's an episode of Fairpoint. I wish we could title our episode Fuck AF, but we can't.
We could do something AF.